Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost.
Team, this is Nathan from RunDreamAchieve.com. Today's topic, I wanted to go over some marathon training recovery tips. And I know there's a lot of different opinions on what is the correct way to recover after your marathons online. This is just my own interpretation, some of the things that I would definitely do and consider when you're prior to getting ready for your marathon, and especially getting after you've completed the race. Recovery is absolutely essential in order to run fast over the marathon distance or over any distance. As I always talk about in blog posts or on videos here on the channel, you cannot continue to push the body hard anaerobically and expect a high return on your investment. You have to make sure that you're jogging and allowing time for your body to adapt to the stressors you're placing on it. So recovery and marathon training before and especially after is absolutely essential to continue in this sport and continue to get great results. Ice baths are great for post marathon races. So either filling up your bathtub with ice or getting to the sports trainer at your school or university and making sure that spending about 10 minutes in an ice bath, I can tell you from experience, you will definitely be in a lot of pain the first few minutes. Your legs will go numb after that, but it helps to flush out those toxins and that lactic acid that you've accumulated. Obviously, your muscles are tired, and you got a lot of muscle tears within your muscles as well. And ice definitely helps to rush oxygen-rich blood throughout your muscles while you're doing that, and after you've gotten out of your ice bath. So that's very critical in terms of recovery. Epsom salt baths are outstanding for making sure that you recover from your marathon, and without question, making sure that you hydrate well before, during, and after that race, especially during the race. One of the biggest mistakes that I made over the years as a marathon runner is I was not hydrating enough. I was not spending enough time drinking in my races. I was sipping, thinking that I could go through 26.2 miles or 42.2 kilometers and just sipping in the race. You cannot do that for over 26.2 miles and expect to run well. Obviously, yes, you do have to train well below goal marathon race pace in training to make sure that that race pace feels more manageable throughout the race and slowing down less than your competition. Also, improving your body's lactate tolerance and being able to teach the body to clear lactic acid faster than it's building up. So it's absolutely critical that you're paying attention to those things in training, making sure that you're not racing too aggressive too soon in the race, so that again you're not going into oxygen debt too early in the race and then you're just falling apart in the latter stages of the race. If you are not paying attention to those things, it's very difficult to run well over the marathon distance. But in terms of recovery, making sure that again leading up into your race, you're jogging on easy days. It's okay to just jog and to take off the watch. If you already know the distance of the route that you're going to run on those easy days, disregard pace. It doesn't matter what pace per mile or pace per kilometer you're running on easy days. What you need to focus on is that pace that you're running at on the tempo efforts that you're putting in, the speed workouts, that 1 VO2 max workout per week you're doing, whether that's 800 meters, between 216 to 225 if you're trying to go under, say, a 225 marathon time, or maybe under 6-minute mile pace if you're trying to run under 6-minute mile pace for repeat miles if you're trying to run, say, a 236 or faster for the distance. You have to spend a sufficient amount of time training well below goal marathon race pace, so that again you can not only run the time that you're trying to race at for over 26.2 miles or 42.2 kilometers, but you're also paying attention to jogging so that you can recover, you can continue to adapt to the stresses you're placing on the body. Again, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks for your body to adapt to any stressor that you're placing on it. So we don't just jump into doing longer tempo runs. You start off doing, say, 2 to 4 miles and adapt to that stress load and that duration running at your anaerobic threshold, and then start extending out, going out, 6 to 10, 10 to 14 miles in length. But again, to recover from your marathon efforts and training, but also after the race, you have to slow down. You have to allow yourself time to relax, which is another tip here in terms of recovering from your marathon. Give yourself some time off, preferably 1 to 2 weeks off completely after a marathon. Now, everybody's different. Some athletes will continue to race after a marathon. A friend of mine just ran a 1:12 half marathon at the Kentucky Derby half marathon. He just recently ran a 2:29 marathon the week before in Boston, and not only broke his longtime goal of sub 2:30 for the marathon, but now he's been the Guam national record holder. But he ran a half marathon the week after his Boston marathon. So different athletes go about it different ways. I guarantee you he will, allow himself some time to recover now after this half marathon he just ran. But, some athletes, such as myself, I would never run a race directly after a marathon. Some athletes do, and some athletes do it really well, as he did. So, but again, you have to allow yourself some time away from the sport to recharge, and because again, it gets very monotonous, as you all know, out there putting in the same mileage. Sometimes you're not going to have athletes to train with, so you're out there doing repeat miles or repeat kilometers on the track. You're doing intervals, you're doing tempo runs by yourself. Some of you are out there training at altitude, so again, it's very hard at times to go out there and do that on your own. But definitely hydration, making sure in terms of recovering from marathons, hydrating well before, during, and after those races. Making sure you're taking in enough protein so that your muscles recover from the hard stresses that you're placing on it. Again, those hard anaerobic workouts like the hill repetitions, or if you're doing 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, that really places a heavy stress on the body. So again, giving yourself preferably 24 at a minimum 24 hours, and preferably 48 hours of recovery between each hard effort you're doing is will help you in the long run. That's how I set up all my training plans and how I teach in the running courses that are on RunDreamAchieve.com. I talk about really pushing hard on the harder anaerobic workouts, but also being disciplined enough to slow down, relax on those easy runs, and making sure that you give yourself some time away from the sport after you've competed in your marathons. It's okay to say run another 5K or maybe a 10K, 10 miler half marathon after a marathon as your last one, because you're still revved up, you're still very fit from that marathon. But if you do that, make sure you give yourself at a minimum a week off, preferably 2 weeks off. Each year I give myself, about a month completely off from running because I usually run about 2 marathons a year. And again, I haven't run marathons in many years. My last marathon was in 2013. So, I'm considering doing, training for another marathon, as I've hinted at in past videos. But I always gave myself 2 weeks off after each of my marathons. So it's just a suggestion. And again, we are all different. But keep these things in mind, making sure that, most importantly, that you're jogging on those easy days, because those hard efforts, those faster, very paced long runs I talk about, alternating a faster long run by an easy, relaxed long run the following week, you are going to want to take it easy on those recovery days. Again, don't get caught up with how much volume you're doing. Again, it's quality over quantity. I would much rather be doing 50 miles a week, running a a new personal best for the marathon, than running 120 miles a week and missing my goal by 20 minutes. Don't get caught up with what pace per mile or pace per kilometer you're running on those recovery days. Again, focus on what counts the most. And what counts the most is training at your anaerobic threshold for longer periods of time, training once per week at your VO2 max, your maximum oxygen uptake, and again, improving the body's lactate tolerance. You want to slow down less than your competition, and you want to make sure that you're able to sustain race pace for longer than those that you're competing against. And stay relaxed. Stay relaxed in training. Allow that time to back off and be away from the sport and recover, so that, again, you can rev yourself back up and get ready for your next marathon. If you're new to the channel, hit that bell icon and the subscribe button, so when I make a new video, you'll be notified of it. I wish you all the best in your marathon training. Leave me a comment below. Give me a like if you can. It helps the channel grow and more athletes around the world to see these videos. Definitely I'm here for you all. As you all know, just leave me a comment. If it's a question or a topic you want me to cover in my next video, definitely let me know and I will be there for you guys. So I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you in the next video.